28th of December, Rabbi Furst, Pierke, Avos.
Live,
You see a change?
no, the live transcript is closed captions. If you hit that, then whatever is said shows up in print on the screen.
Oh, that's something else. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't have that on mine. Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning, Rabbi Furst.
Good morning, Roy. How's everybody today?
Baruch Hashem.
Good, good to see you all. Okay, this is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here in Yeshiva Tamanafshi here in Shalom Care of Zoom. This is our first year in the morning. We're discussing the depth of Birkas Kohanim and some of the different facets of that special, very special mitzvah. Let me put the document on screen, and we'll continue. We'll pick up where we left off, which I think, let's see, where did we leave off yesterday? We were learning from the Teshuvos of Rav Moshe Feinstein, the Igros Moshe, in Urchaim Chelik Beis Siman Lamed Aleph, I believe. Let's see.
We're up to number 12, the bottom of the first page.
Right, exactly. Very good. Okay, who would like to read? Any volunteers?
Before that, could I ask a question, please?
Yes, yes, of course. Go ahead, Roy, please.
When the Kohen Eli was blessing, oh no, I forgot what's her name.
Sorry, I'm late.
Chana.
Slow.
What Shlomo? Blessing. All right.
Shmuel?
Shmuel. No. Well, anyway, blessing anybody. But I was thinking of. Well, no, that's right. When he was blessing
Chana?
Chana, what's his name? The boy who was going to she was going to give him to Eli.
Shmuel Nabi.
Okay, so when he was blessing her, was that a Birkas Haranim, or was it just just an ordinary blessing?
I think it was an ordinary bracha. I mean, when you can get a bracha from Kohen just like you can get a bracha from anybody else, but there's a special mitzvah of Birkas Kohanim, right? Which and there, like any other mitzvah, there's special requirements to fulfill that mitzvah, and that's one of the things. That's what we're basically discussing here. There's various different requirements that are necessary to be able to even be obligated in that mitzvah. Right? There are certain things which are necessary that you can be obligated in that mitzvah. Not all the time are the opportunity arises can be obligated in that mitzvah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
That's right. Very good. Okay.
So
yeah, this is Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, Zechron Baruch the Igros Moshe, and let's see what he has to teach us more about the Birkas Kohanim.
V'af im nema de'im yesh bisados anashim, and even if you'll say that there are people in the field, ke'ilu she'im lo hayu anisi hayu be'ain in the shul, the basic Knesset. All right, so it's these people in the field, these farmers, they are what is inisi?
That's from the source of oinus. A person is an oinus, meaning he's prevented from coming to the shul.
Right. They are ba'onus. And that's why they're not in the shul.
Right.
Okay, so so even though we say that there were farmers in the field, they're not in the shul because of onus. Achar she ba'ir leha tivarech nami kulin.
Yochalim. Yochalim, they're able. From the word yochel, they're able.
Yochlin. So others in the city that are blessed, also they're able, gam kohanim shebe kohen levarech, that the kohen can bless them.
Okay, so when the sense and structure here is a little bit difficult. Let's just go over it again. Va'afim nema. Even if you'll suggest the im yesh besaros anashim ke'elu shim lo hayonsim hayaboin lebeit knesset acher shebeir nivorech. But even if you suggest that if there would be other people in the fields that if they would not be in oinus, they would come to the base knesset in the city, but a different base knesset to get a bracha. Nami yochel the kohenim livroi over here. And let's put it like this. Let's say this is a base knesset of Svartisha kohenim, right? And all the people in the fields are Ashkenazi. And they wouldn't necessarily daven in the Svartisha shul. They would go to the Ashkenazi shul. So even though that they're in the fields and they wouldn't be coming to this shul, the Svartisha shul, nevertheless, the Svartisha kohanim can make the bracha in this Svartisha shul for the Ashkenazi farmers out there in the fields.
But Rebbe, does that mean that if there's an Ashkenazi shul and a Sephardi shul and a Nusach Sephardi shul, and they're all making brachos towards the field, these workers are going to get three doses?
Could be. Right. Very good idea. Could be. That's right.
I mean, that seems what it's going to be, right?
Yeah, it sounds reasonable to me.
Makom, im.
Seems to be. Excuse me 1 second. It seems to be. Excuse me 1 second. It seems to be that there was a very big division of labor. That these workers were out in the field from early in the morning and working all day for the plantation owner, right?
Right.
And so they were, they had to daven mincha in the trees and all that stuff. So they were, really almost. Pardon me? Is that correct? Is that what it was like?
That's from what I know about the Mishnah is what they say. That's what it seems. I mean, I wasn't around, so I can't really tell you. But that's what it seems to be like, yeah.
What's the furthest
It seems to be
distance?
like that there was, pardon me?
What's the furthest distance that the workers could be from the shul to benefit?
Does it have to
That's
do with
what Amos is
the
discussing.
distance about walking on Shabbos?
Well, would be the time. It would take the time that they would need to be able to walk back and forth during the day.
Uh-huh.
they have to be considered part of that city.
on their own time.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So, but didn't that have to do with the trum for Shabbos?
Well, I don't know, many times the fields were outside of the Tchum. They didn't have this, they didn't have the fields in the
Oh,
city.
because it's a work. Right. So they could be outside the trum because it's not Shabbos.
That's right. If you look, there's
So
Mishnayos,
okay.
there's Mishnayos that discuss on Erev Shabbos, they used to blow shofar on Erev Shabbos. They used to blow it 3 times. One was to have the people in the fields stop their work, so they'd be able to come in time for Shabbos. So that was the first blowing of the shofar on Erev Shabbos.
Ooh,
Who would blow the
Wow.
who would blow the shofar? I mean, I don't know, Shmir Shabbos committee.
Well, these days we have the megaphone on the top of the buildings.
Yeah, that's exactly where that microphone, that siren which is sounded at 40 minutes, it's at 50 minutes and 40 minutes. That's reminiscent of what they used to do. That's based on the Mishnayos.
Mhm.
That's right.
wow.
So yeah, the
But that
fields were
didn't, I'm
outside the
sure,
city, for
I'm
sure.
sure that so the owners of the plantations, they didn't leave them much time, I'm sure, to get home. I mean, they weren't coming home at 1:30 in the afternoon. They probably were, came home and, had to get ready real fast.
Yeah, but about Plagamins, were they?
No?
Well, what did they have to do in those days?
Well, they had to, get out of their work clothes and all that, clean the house,
Well, there's no,
start cooking, whatever.
well, usually the wives will probably be doing the cookies, But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I
it
forgot
would
about
be-
that.
that's what Ramosh is saying, that it had to be the people from that particular city.
Uh-huh. So they could be pretty far away, and basically, if it was a large city. We're talking miles, right?
Yeah,
Could
for
be
sure.
miles.
Yeah, definitely. So sure. Right. Wherever they,
5, 6 miles.
yeah, whenever they could get work, Okay, let's
Wow.
go. Mikol Makom.
Okay, so that's the way it worked. Okay, yeah.
Makom im bechol ha'ir leka anashim ki'ilu vadai lo mivarachin bishvil iros acharos. Nevertheless, if in all the city there are not people like these, that certainly they do not become blessed on account of Eros. Eros is the city?
Cities, like Acheros, other cities.
Another city.
Meaning definitely, if you don't have people that are from that city, if there's no other people in the city and there's nobody out in the field, then definitely the Kohanim cannot make the bracha for the sake of blessing people in other cities.
They can't bless on account of other cities.
Right.
They can't have them in mind, is what that's saying? They have in mind their community, so to speak? That's
It
it?
has to be specifically for their community, not for another community.
And who are these people? Who are these people that are in town? You got all these, people had to make a living. So they were all out in the fields. from sun up to sundown. So who was in town along with the Kohanim? I
That's,
mean,
that's the women and the children. That's what the Gemara says. Right? The women and children are they're going to bless because for the sake of the who's going to answer amen to the bracha? The women and the children.
So what was it? So there was like a kollel in the city, and
Wait, you can't say the women and children who are saying amen were in the city. They have to be in the shul.
They would be in the shul, right? That's right. But there has to be some other people. I mean, it's not enough the women and the children.
Yeah.
They're only enough to say amen.
so be some old retired people.
There'll be the tailors and the shopkeepers,
Right.
Right. That's good. That's a good
that
point.
sort of people,
That's right. Could be.
Right.
teachers.
People, Roy, you're talking about people who worked in town,
Yeah,
in the neighborhood. They lived in town. Yeah. Okay.
Right, but that's not going to be good enough. Why aren't they in shul?
No, they are in shul, aren't they?
No. Well, no. They're
I mean,
either,
you have a
if they
minute,
are, they're
you're not-
Kohanim.
you-
We're talking about they're all Kohanim.
Oh, this is only in the case where it's only a minion of Kohanim?
That's right.
Okay. I
Mm,
got
I forgot about that.
We're still on that. We're still on
Yeah.
only the minion of Kohanim. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I see.
So then there's nobody in town.
Well, they're not in shul, that's for sure.
Right. Nobody in town. No one home.
So according to Roy, they would be in their tailor shop or whatever, right? In the grocery store, right?
No, we just said there's nobody in town.
It can't be. What, there's only a town of Kohanim?
Yeah,
That's the case.
Are we talking about only a minion of Kohanim or only a city of Kohanim?
Well, the Rishalmi talks about a city of Kohanim. You're right. Used to be that way. They kept them themselves. They didn't want people coming in. People were not careful with Tumah and Tahara and stuff like that. They kept people out. They kept it to themselves. The Kohanim kept it themselves.
V'nechi,
Oh, so that's where Meyer gets his attitude from. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay.
what is this, a pay Zion?
That he's quoting a Rambam now. Nika. It's well settled according to the in Perek Zion. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. The Fizeh. Nika the Fizeh. It's good according to this. The Fizeh.
According to this. So nicha means it's good.
Yes.
Ma she harambam bepartav.
The parent tezvav mit tefillah hilchos tefillah halakha tes.
So it's good according to this. What is said by the Rambam? V'hatur and the Tur. V'hashah.
That's the Shulchan Aruch.
And v'hashulchan aruch. It's good what is said by the Rambam and the Tur and the Shulchan Aruch. B'simin kaf kuf chet sif kaf hey nakto gamkain. What's nakto?
They also chose to write in the same way. Nakto literally means like to choose, to pick.
To choose?
Yes.
Also, de mevarechin leachehen shebe sedos, to bless the fellows in the field. Ve'im af beleka gam bisados mivarachin, and if even there are not also in the field people who are blessed bishvil Yisrael, on account of being Jewish, shebechol haolam, that everywhere, nimtza she'ein noga zeh, we find that that this is not noga. What's noga?
Not relevant. It's not relevant. We'll explain. But it means it's not relevant.
It's not, this is not relevant. Ladina, to the law. Vehu rak.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. You guys can finish up the next couple of words. Yeah. Go ahead.
Vehu rak teruts ba'alma al ma shayich levarech. That it's only teruts.
Teruts is an answer.
It's only an answer for the normal case.
Well, Ba'alma means it's a general answer.
Teretz is that like an answer in the form of advice? Like I'll give you a teretz.
Not necessarily. No, not advice. It could be a straight answer also.
Just information.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's only a general answer concerning what is fitting, who is fitting to be blessed. Lo haya lahem lahavi zeh aval lama shebarti noga zeh lidina be'im. I guess it goes to Leica. Let's see. So
He
it's
quoted
general.
the Rambam. He quoted the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch and the Torah that they all said, they all use the expression that they give the bracha to those achichim, their brothers, their brethren in the sodas. Right now, but the halacha would be v'im af beleka gam besodas, and if it would be that if there's nobody in the fields, let's say there's nobody in the fields, they would make a bracha b'Yisrael Yisrael b'kol ha'olam. They would make a bracha for all the Jewish people in the whole world, right? It turns out that this explanation that they're blessing the people in the Sodus is not really relevant to the halacha, because it's just a general teretz that they have in mind to the people that they're in the Sodus, I guess, because they're closest by, so they have in mind to bless them. But really, the bracha could go on everybody, any Jew in the whole world. That, if you want to say that that's the halacha, they can really bless anybody in the whole world, then what the Gemara says, the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch, that they're making the bracha for the people in the Sodus is really not relevant to the halacha. It's just a general way of expressing everybody in the whole world, but it really means that that the bracha can be given to anybody in the whole world, which is not true, because the Gemara specifically, or if they mention specifically the people in the Sodus, it was for a specific reason, to tell you that the bracha cannot be going on any particular person, any Jewish person throughout the whole world. It has to be specifically somebody who is close by within the city environment.
Now, isn't it also possible, based on this idea, that there could be Kohanim who were working in the fields? I mean, not every Kohen was independently wealthy. Maybe they had to work for a living.
Could be, but he's not gonna give it, he can't give his bruch out there in the
No,
swamp.
no, but I'm saying, but he would he be receiving the bracha? He's a worker in the field. He was a Kohen.
No,
And-
no, the coding don't get the bracha. They don't get the bracha. Just like the pasuk said that Ani Mevorachim, that Kadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm going to give you the bracha. When you the Kohanim give the bracha to the Jews, I Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to give you the bracha.
Ani mevorchim.
That's right.
Ah, okay. So he's covered
Yeah, he's covered, right, as long as he gives the bracha, right?
as long as Hashem feels he's deserves the bracha.
Well, I guess, the better bracha he gives, the better bracha he'll get.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way it usually works.
Yeah. You get
Okay.
what you deserve.
Mhm.
So what is this? I think I followed your explanation, Rabbi, up until the word levaracha. Did you also discuss what it says where it says lo haya lahem?
Yeah, that's right. That's what we explained up till now. So it says, now I guess we can pick up lo haya lehem, levia.
It's not for them to bring this.
Right, and if the bracha was going on everybody in the world, they shouldn't have mentioned just the people in the fields.
So in that case, lama she be arti noga zeh. Why is this relevant?
Yeah, I mean, what's relevant where they are? What's the importance of where I know they are, right?
To the law. Why is this relevant to the law?
Right. It's
Im-
mentioned
im leka.
about giving the bracha to the people in the fields. It must be relevant to the law. I mean, it must be that the law is specifically limiting their bracha to the people in the fields.
Right. So it's saying if you could bless everybody, then it would be irrelevant about people in the field. Therefore, you can't bless everybody.
Right, that's right.
But okay, so this is still talking about all Kohanim.
For sure. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so the Kohanim had these plain people working in the fields. It was a city of Kohanim, but they had hired workers.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
No, okay,
Don't-
I'm just trying to get.
Don't forget the Kohanim didn't own land, right, Barry?
Well, didn't they have land in their cities?
The Levium, I don't know about the Kohanim. They might have had their houses,
Oh, that's right. That's the cities of the Levium.
right?
The Kohanim, did the Kohanim have their own cities?
If they wanted to, there was no specific mitzvah to have them have their own cities, but they could have. They did. That was the mitzvah with David, and was running away from Shaul. No, very Kohanim, he destroyed them.
But the Kohanim, I'm sorry, the Levium were not limited to having fields outside the cities of Kohanim. They could have their fields anywhere, right?
Could be. Yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, don't forget when you just didn't when Klal Yisrael settled in Eretz Yisrael, everyone was given his own homestead. You just didn't, stake a claim. It wasn't the gold rush days, Barry.
But I
Right.
thought the Levium did not get land
No, they
except
didn't.
except for their cities.
That's right. That's all they had. They didn't have land, right? Exactly.
So they had their own city. So So you're saying Levium could not have had their fields outside of cities, unless it was their own cities of Levium?
Yeah, that's right. There's a migrash. There was the public park area around surrounding the city. But whether they actually had land that they owned, I don't think so.
So
And
the Kohanim
maybe,
had their,
possibly, maybe they could have possibly bought it. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure.
well, but the land that the Levium had, wasn't that arranged at the same time that the Shvatim that were settling the
Yes,
land?
yes, that's right.
I mean, that's, so they
right.
had legal, whatever, they had deeds or ownership for those properties.
That's right. Okay.
Well, wait a
Let's
second.
continue.
Just gonna
I'm
get- just
confused
trying to
now. I
get a
thought we
picture.
said they didn't own property,
But
except what the fields that were part of their cities.
they could have, maybe possibly could have bought it if they wanted. I don't know if they were allowed or not. That I don't know.
But they weren't given when
No.
when the Shvatim were given their portions in the land, and each person got his property. The Levites at that time were settled in cities, but they weren't
Yeah.
given individual plots of land.
That's right.
But those
Okay.
cities had property, had farmland around them. And there wasn't just like a,
There was a migrash. That's right. There's a certain amount of property around the city. Right.
So
That
how
was
did the
communal-
Levium make?
That was communal Levite property, right? That was part of the city, not belonging to individuals.
That's right. That is correct. As far as I know.
Oh, so, okay.
As far as I
It's
know.
like in Boston, they had a thing called the Common. In modern days, it's just a park, a big park, but when they first settled Boston, it was common. It was owned by everybody. It was an area where anybody could come and they could bring their flocks and graze them.
Maybe have a picnic too.
No, it was a common agricultural. It was a common farm for all the city.
So how did they determine who got how many acres, or how did that work?
Everybody shared it. Anybody who needed to came and used it.
Yeah, but you if you had a significant number of people, you wouldn't have enough land. They didn't have a gold rush, like Rebbe said. There wasn't a gold rush. Everybody ran out.
This was in addition to whatever else they might have had. This was a common area for everybody to share,
Mhm.
in addition to whatever else they might have had.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
Okay, so Be'im leka be'ir anashim ke'ilu bisdos besados, and if there is not in the city people like this in the field, ein mivarachin, they don't bless. Ulai af im yishnam mehair aval lo ma mitapelim beves haKnesset ze ein mivarachin. So they don't bless, and perhaps even if what's yeshnam?
Even if they're yeshnam ma'ir, even if they happen to be ulay af im yeshnam ma'ir, even if they're going to be from the city, right? Meaning,
Even if there are those from the city,
but they're not in oinus, meaning that there's two. The main condition is they have to be in oinus. I mean, there's a good reason why they're not there in front of the kohen to get their bracha. Meaning, if they know the kohen giving their bracha, that they have to be there to be receiving the bracha. And if they're not there to be received the bracha, they have to have a very good excuse why not. If they don't have a good excuse, then they're not going to be able, the kohen, to make these people part of their bracha. Because these people are not interested in the bracha. You can't give a bracha if a person's not interested in getting it.
I see. So even if they're from the city, but they're not praying in the base Knesset, they are not blessed. So
Right.
there's
not-
nobody in
the
the
Kohen
city who's in
can't
the
even-
field.
Can't even do the mitzvah.
So I'm okay. So what's it saying? It's saying if there are not people like these in the field, then they don't bless. And maybe there's nobody from the city who's in the basic Knesset, in which case there's no blessing. Is that right?
Can say that again? You're just breaking up a bit, Lom, so I can hear you.
Sorry. So it looks like it's saying this last part of this paragraph is saying that if there are not people like this in the field, then the Kohanim don't bless. And
Right.
and maybe even there's nobody from the city who is praying in the shul, in which case the Kohanim don't bless.
Right.
That's what it's saying.
Right.
Okay.
The whole point that's being discussed here is whether the Kohanim can do their mitzvah or not. Right? The Kohanim have a mitzvah to bless the Jews, and since it's a mitzvah, they have to be able to do the mitzvah in the proper way. And there are conditions for this mitzvah, like there are conditions for every other mitzvah. If you don't have a esrog that's kosher, you can't take it for the mitzvah. If you don't have a sukkah which is kosher, you can't do that for the mitzvah. So likewise, the Kohanim, they have a mitzvah to bless, but they have to have people and meet all the kosher conditions for the mitzvah to be obligated. They're not obligated in the mitzvah if they don't have people to bless under the proper conditions. Okay,
Weiter?
number 13.
V'kevan shemikablim habracha hu le'ikuva. What's ikuva?
It's of absolute necessity.
So since that the receiving of the bracha is an absolute necessity, misasbar,
Mistaver, it's logical.
it's logical. Mistavar, it's logical. De kishehem beves hakinesis lo anu amar ein kan mitzadam. We don't say that that here we don't mitzadam. What's mitzadam?
From that aspect, meaning it came into Mekablim bracha, since the reception of the bracha is absolutely necessity, it's logical. Kishahem bebeit knesses v'lo amra mein ein kan mitzadam kabbalas bracha. That it's logical that even if they would be in the Beit Knesset, even if people would be in the Beit Knesset, but they're not answering main for whatever reason, they're not answering a main. Ain't kan mitzad them, from these people who are not answering main, there's no reception of or acceptance of the bracha from these people, and from their point of view, they're not answering main. That means they're not interested in getting the bracha.
Okay, so what? How does it work? How does it work if they're in the fields and they're busy picking grapes or something or whatever? When are they aware that they're getting this bracha to say amen?
Right. So that's a big question, Barry. You're asking a very good question, a very big question, because obviously they're not aware of the bracha being given
At that
Right.
time. Right.
Right.
At the time, they're up in the trees working. So
Right.
they have no kavanah for that.
Right.
So how do we answer that?
We haven't gotten to the answer to that yet.
Oh,
That
all right.
that question, we have to cross that bridge where we're coming up to it,
Okay.
but we haven't got to that. We haven't crossed that bridge yet. Hold on.
Roy, make a note of that, please.
So what we have said here is that it's a necessity to receive the bracha,
Right.
but it's logical that if people are in the shul and they don't say amen, then they don't receive the bracha.
It's
Yeah.
it's that they are not receiving the bracha, right? They are not receiving the bracha, correct?
The amen who kabbalas divarim, that amen is what causes the receiving of the words.
Then we're getting in more trouble.
The meaning with included in answer amen is the acceptance of what's being said.
Right.
Let it be so.
Right.
Amen. Let it be so.
That's right.
I thought amen means it is true.
It's also true. And you're accepting it to be true, and you're accepting it that it should come true.
The kevan sheyecholim ve'anos le'anos amen. That since he's able to answer amen,
Right. Exactly. Right.
velo anu velo inisi,
Right.
and we are not bonus.
Right. I mean, they are not bonus, right? They're in shul, but they're not answering amen, and no one's preventing them from saying amen. They're doing it because of their own volition.
Right. It's like the Gaboyim. The Gaboyim are running around, moving chairs, and they're not paying attention a lot of the times when the Kahanim are, because they take that opportunity to prepare for the next event after the Kahanim. whatever it is.
They're moving the chairs around while the Kohanim are benching?
Yeah, the Kohanim, they have stuff to do, maybe they're preparing for laning or something. So they're moving chairs to get in position so that they can make Hagba, whatever. The Kohanim are busy. They're not, they have jobs to do. We don't pay them for nothing.
They shouldn't be doing that. You have to tell them, Barry, that you have to pay attention to the bracha.
Yeah, the only reason, I'm not looking up high enough to see the Kohanim, but you're aware that people are, or how about someone who just has to go to the base, to the shira team. He has to go to the bathroom. All right, so he's running in. So
he's an oinus. A person like that's an oinus. He's an oinus.
But does he get the bracha?
Since he's an oinus, he will get the bracha. The person,
He will.
The gabbai that's not an oinus, if he has to at least say amen to the brachas, the very least.
Yeah, the guy's running around. He runs in the back and he gets a stack of paper towels and he runs in and he fills up the cabinet. So I'll have to talk to him.
That's right. That's right. You better talk to him soon tomorrow.
Barry, please send him over to my shul, because we don't have anybody doing that, and there's not enough towels in the bathroom.
I'm telling you, we have Gabayim that are on it all the time. I mean, you can't get away with anything.
We have to stop.
What? We have to stop?
Oh, yeah, time's up.
Oh, okay. All right, Mayor, are you taking notes on this?
I have been, yes, but I'm not out in the congregation when there's Birchat HaKohen.
Yeah, you're not watching that stuff.